Hello, family in Christ. Welcome to Spirit Life with me, Lee. Today, I have a very, very, very special treat for you. You know, all of us, we love testimonies, right? Yes, we love testimonies. But today's testimony is extra special in the sense that my sister will be sharing her testimony about how God blessed her with employment after she prayed and she fasted. And this happened twice. So she's going to share the two ways, incredible ways that God had blessed her through prayer and fasting. So I divided her, it was quite long. So I divided her testimonies into two parts. So part one is she's going to be telling you about how she got the job, the first job that God blessed her with. And then part two will be about how God blessed her with the second job that happened this year. Yes, I hope you guys are excited. So this is part one, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you draw inspiration, and if you were discouraged, I hope that my sister's testimony will definitely encourage you. I wanted to do wanted to read her testimony. She's like, no, I want to share my story. So I'm hoping that she will encourage you. Her story will encourage you. She can tell it the best because she went through the motions. She went through, all the challenges before she even got employed. So I really hope that her story will inspire you guys. Thank you. Enjoy the testimony. Part one and part two is coming soon after this particular part one testimony.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tshepiso Kanono. I am the sister to Lerato Kanono. I'm based here in South Africa, and today I'll be sharing with you my testimony about how God came through for me in the years 2022 and 2024 regarding my unemployment situation, and how I feel that fasting really did change the trajectory of how my faith and how my situation changed. So I'll start from the beginning. In 2021, at the very beginning, I became unemployed. My contract ran out in my previous job, and that meant that now was job hunting time. And I will say that for the first 3 to 6 months, I really was not discouraged because I knew that the job application process does take its time, and you have to have heart, you have to have patience in that job hunting phase. But it wasn't up until the very start of July where I felt my faith plummeting, and I just felt as though, yes, I am praying, I am doing what I feel is the work for God to hear me, and I just was not getting any answers. I just wasn't getting any answers. There wasn't even any hope of, an interview of any kind. Nobody telling me to get in touch with them. Nobody was saying anything from anywhere where I had applied. And my faith really spiraled. And there were moments, there were great moments of faithlessness that I began to have. And this, all while going through all of this is something I would communicate with my sister quite often. And, as best as she could, she would advise me on what to do, that I should keep the faith and keep praying. I should keep reaching out to God about the situation, but that I must also incorporate fasting into my prayers. And I won't lie, I was hesitant about fasting. I don't want to say daunting, but I do want to say that it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to go through, but at this point, I had no choice. I did call it off time and time again. I'd try and then quit along the way throughout the course of the 5 remaining months. I would start one, end it, not really have the patience to pursue with any one of them. And it wasn't until the beginning of 2022, January 2022, when my sister and I, Lerato, decided that we will be embarking on a 3-day fast. We did leave it up to each other which type of fast we would be doing. She did a dry fast, and I did a liquid fast for those 3 days. And, it was not an easy experience, but all I had in my heart, the prayer that I had in my heart was that, one, I want to see not only a change in the unemployment situation, but I want a job with more certainty that I will still be employed in the years to come, and not have these contracts where people are not promising you much. After 1 year, they are telling you that they aren't really funds to keep going with this. So I wanted a job that would also mean that I have this job year after year after year. So we embarked on this 3-day fast, constant prayer, and for me, I won't even lie, I keep my prayers extremely simple. I am one of those people that I do not indulge in prayers that are complicated and not very specific. I'm very specific when I pray. And I had told God that this year I want a job. And because we were looking towards this academic facilitation job at UFS at the University of the Free State, that was the one that I kept calling out in my prayers. So I would tell God that I have applied for this facilitation job at the University of the Free State, and I need to pass this test so that I can have classes that will guarantee payment every month and will guarantee employment year after year. So that is as specific as I could get. I told God that I want an academic job, an academic facilitation job at the University of the Free State. I was very plain and simple with that. I do encourage that if you are embarking on your fasting journey or even in prayer, please be as specific as you can. Do not go about being unsure in your prayers. Be specific, be certain about the things that you are praying about. And that was my constant prayer throughout the 3 days. That was the constant one, the one that I would make at 12 o'clock midnight, the one that I would make at 3 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. I'm quite a light sleeper, so during those hours I am awake. I am awake during those hours. So it enabled me to really keep praying during those early hours of the morning. And it was also a time for me to fight whatever generational curses that I had spotted regarding unemployment in our family, generation to generation. It was also a point for me to now pray for things such as more work opportunities coming about from the job that I have. And it was also about praying to have those advocates that are going to, I don't want to say defend, those people that will recommend you. Yes, that will recommend you for more work opportunities within your workspace. So I was really praying about those things. I really wanted favor in not only getting the job, but in my job, to obtain more and more classes in my workplace. It was as specific as that. So when you look at it, to summarize, I would say that I was praying specifically to obtain the job at the University of the Free State. And it was also casting out evil demonic forces formed against you to not obtain anything good and financially benefiting. Also generational curses. It is important to fight those demons, because you never know what entity, or you never know what is the very thing that is responsible for unemployment in your life. And if you have spotted several patterns in your family of unemployment, or whatever it is that you're praying about, try to rebuke those spirits and fight against them, cast them out in prayer. Please do try and do that. And I also was very specific that within my job, I wanted more money-making opportunities, and I wanted someone or some people that would be my advocates in recommending me for further money-making opportunities within my workplace. That's as specific as I got. And the prayer, the fasting and prayer during that 3-day period, it was specifically for my job situation. I needed it to be as simple as possible. I needed to have that focus for me, that one focus, which was just employment. And so, lo and behold, it was a week after the fast where I had to go in and write the test for the academic facilitation job. And I felt like the job was really, not really challenging, but with tests such as those, you're never sure if the answers that you have given are the answers that are required. But I just thought, I'm leaving it in God's hands now. I did whatever I possibly could to prepare physically, which is try to study up on academic facilitation research material. I prayed, I fasted, I put it all in God's hands. After writing the test, I really surrendered it to God. And after writing the test, I had to remain hopeful. I kept putting it in every single one of my prayers that, God, please remember me for that job. Amongst the people that are selected for this particular job, I want to be amongst those selected for this job. Regardless of what the test says, regardless of anything, I just need to be amongst those selected. I did not go into gratitude mode where I was just thanking God after fasting and praying. I did not do that. I continued to put in my request and really just tell God that part of the selection crew, I hope, please put me as part of the ones that are selected for this particular job. It was month end of January in 2022 where I got the news, the email that I have received the job. Where, yes, I got the email that I had passed. I got the required score for the facilitation job, and I would be starting on the 1st of February. It does seem strange that I would say the 30th of January and 2 days later I have to go in and start. They did not start, the contract was from the 1st of February right up until the 31st of January the following year. But we did start classes around the 12th or the 15th. Around the middle of that month is when I started, or towards the end of that month was when we formally started with classes at the University of the Free State. It was fantastic, and I was in so much gratitude mode towards, for God and what He had actually done for me. And I just remember thinking to myself that, maybe in that moment I kept thinking that maybe it's not that I wasn't getting jobs because I didn't deserve the jobs. Maybe at times there are just some spirits that need to be casted out of the way, and that will clear the path for you to be in that position to receive your blessings. And I saw it then that there are many things that are responsible for you not getting a job, and you never know what it is. So therefore it is so important that you keep a prayerful spirit, that you keep seeking God in fasting and prayer. And I saw His grace. I saw Him come through for me in a big way, and it was a job that will enable me to grow inside of it. And it is the type of job where you do your job properly, you're guaranteed that spot next year once more. Okay, so during the course of that year, of course, with just one class, you are not earning a lot of money. It's basically little, but you're grateful for the opportunity nonetheless. But I was in that mode of being grateful to God, but still saying that I think that more can still take place for me. So in May of the following, not the following year, sorry. In May of that very same year, I embarked on another fast where I was seeking God's favor regarding another class being added to my contract, and also more money-making opportunities, so through substitution. So at our workplace, when there is someone absent, you can take over for them. And if it's for a long period of time, like a month, 2 weeks, a week, it is quite a bit of money to make, and it makes all the difference to the payment that you are already getting. So I had prayed for those two things. With this one, I did not go on it wasn't a 3-day fast. I went on a partial fast. It was from 6 to 6. I don't remember the date, but I do know that it was somewhere in May, because I had put in the request through the school administrator that I would like to be considered for a second class to be added onto my contract. So I knew that in that deciding period that would be taking place, I need to do my part with seeking God's favor, seeking God's face regarding the situation. And I did that partial fast, and it was I did it on a day where I was least busiest, and so it did take up a whole lot of the day. The fasting was productive in the sense that I could pray, I could read the Bible without having to worry about class coming up. So I did it on a day where I was most free. And it was an incredibly refreshing fast to go on. And after that, I really did surrender that situation into God's hands. And I feel that that's what fasting does for me. It really allows me to fully put things into God's hands without worry about whether I've done enough or I've done too little. And once I've fasted, once I've really prayed about a situation, I really can surrender it into God's hands. And the answer that I gain from that will be an answer that He wants. So I finished the fast. I put it in God's hands and just continued to put it in my prayer request that God, again, amongst those that are selected for a second class, I want to be amongst those individuals. And I also want to be amongst those that come to the mind that of these advocates that seek for substitution classes for me. I want to be amongst those people that are considered on a very quick basis, because I am available, I have the time, so I can do it. It was a week after the fast that I got the email from our school administrator that they have checked with my coordinator, so that I have submitted things on time. There are no complaints on my part from the students and from other facilitators that I would substitute for every now and again. They saw that I had done my work diligently and that that I can be given a second class. I was extremely grateful to God for that. I was extremely grateful to God because as a first timer, it leaves so much space for people to say, especially your superiors, to say that, oh, she's not quite ready yet. I don't think that we should place that amount of responsibility on her shoulders when she's still a newcomer. But God blessed me with that favor. He anointed my name with that favor to be amongst those selected for a second class for the following semester. I was eternally grateful for Him because they could have said no. They could have said, I'm still new and 6 months is not really enough to prove yourself in that kind of manner, to be given so much responsibility. And it was written into my contract, so the following semester I started to get paid double of what I was getting paid in the first semester. And lo and behold, in the second semester, remember in my fast I said I wanted to be considered for more money-making opportunities in terms of substitution in my classes. Another coordinator from our cohort had a facilitator that would be absent for 2 weeks in 2 weeks for a total of 2 weeks, and he needed someone that would take a whole three of his classes for that 2 weeks. When I tell you that I was so grateful to God for that opportunity, why I say that, because again, I am still a first timer. I've just had the opportunity of having another class added on to my contract. Now I'm going from, for the next 2 weeks, I'd be going from 2 classes to now 5 classes. It was a whole bunch of work. It was a lot of work. It was very taxing, but I was so grateful for that opportunity. I was so grateful that God had answered my prayer, because it could not have come at a better time. There were so many responsibilities for the following month. For the month of September, where I wanted to embark on a trip with my sister, and obviously that would need capital that would not make me worry about there being such a huge dent in my finances afterwards. And once I got that job opportunity, I was so grateful to God. I was so grateful to Him. And that became a year where after that, it wasn't just that one substitution class. I gained so many. I think it came to a point where each and every single month, I wouldn't have anything less than 2 substitutions to do. And it was all because of God really answering that prayer, my specificity in saying that I really want more doors opened in terms of substituting for people, in having my classes being added, in having those advocates that recommend you for more substitution classes. I really saw His hand in.
I hope you are inspired. I was so moved by her testimony myself. So I hope you enjoyed part 1 of my sister's testimony about how God blessed her with employment after she sought the Lord's help in prayer and fasting. So look out for part 2 coming up next.